It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hey, you guys, it's Mo. It is January the 10th, and we have a bunch of news. Let's get in and welcome everyone in. Thank you, Wolfram, as always, for doing yeoman's work as my mod. Good morning, Super T. And Carol Sue, good morning. Good morning, Tammy, Colorado Mountain Girl. Let's see here. We have Ann Swifty. I don't believe so. I think I put it in there a long time ago, but I am more on the Dale Gribble side, so I do like a little tinfoil hat sometimes, once in a while. So our first story is that the judge, or a judge, has released the woman who was part of the Slender Man stabbing from a psychiatric hospital. Now, I know that Ada Kay and Broken Baker covered the hearing involving this, but I figured we touch on it just a little bit because it does seem like she is now free to wander around. A Wisconsin woman who, at the age of 12, stabbed her sixth grade classmate nearly to death to please online horror character Slender Man will be released from a psychiatric hospital. A judge ordered Thursday after a trio of experts testified that she has made considerable progress in battling mental illness. Morgan Geyser has spent nearly 7 years at the Winnebago Mental Health Institute. She petitioned Waukesha County Court Circuit Judge Michael Bourne, who committed her for release 4 times since June 2022. Now, she did withdraw her first 2 petitions. Boren denied her second request this past April, finding that she still presented a threat to the public. Geyser, now 22, had filed her latest petition in October. Boren decided to grant her release after a day-long hearing Thursday, finding that she had maximized her treatment options at the facility and is no longer a safety risk. He ordered the State Department of Health Services to set up a plan to house her in a group home and supervise her for his consideration at a hearing within 60 days. The judge said her crime was brutal and a terrible offense, but that Geyser has since grown up and has been truly rehabilitated, and she has to exist in society. She's done what she's supposed to, the judge says, and appears to have a good attitude. Now, Geyser and Anissa Weir were 2 12-year-old girls in 2014 that lured their classmate, Peyton Lertner, to a Waukesha park after a sleepover. Geyser and Lutner stabbed Lutner 19 times while the other girl egged her on. She barely survived. The girls later told the investigators that they attacked Littner to earn the right to be Slender Man's servants, and they feared he would harm their families if they didn't, follow through. Now, Geyser pled guilty to attempted first-degree intentional homicide and was sent to a psychiatric institute due to mental illness in 2018. Weir pled guilty to attempted second-degree intentional homicide. She was also sent to a psychiatric center, but was granted release in 2021 to live with her father and was ordered to wear a GPS monitor. 3 psychologists who have been working with Geyser since she was committed to the institute testified Thursday that she has made impressive progress in just the last 6 months and should be released. Now, this was a brutal attack. Now, Miss Geyser does seem to have really had early onset schizophrenia, but the other girl who was Weir, who was involved, it seems like they had argued in their original cases that it was a folie à deux sort of situation. So a madness shared by two. So what the defense sort of claimed to mitigate responsibility was that Morgan was disturbed and it sort of was contagious to her friend, and they both suffered from these delusions of Slenderman. Now, Dr. Deborah Collins said that Geyser is always at a risk of reoffending simply because she almost unalived someone, but has worked on her coping skills, improved her emotional control, and retreats into fantasy less frequently. Collins added that Geyser told her she hates what she did to Leutner and can't forgive herself. Dr. Ken Robbins told the judge that she could become dangerous if she remained confined at Winnebago and lost hope. The longer she's there at this point, the harder it's going to be to reintegrate, Robbins said. Now, Waukesha County Assistant Deputy Attorney Ted, how in the hell do you say this last name? Y'all, I will spell it out for those of you who are just listening. SZCZUPAKIEWICZ. That is not a name. That is a sound that I can't make. So the deputy attorney or the deputy DA argued that Geyser couldn't be trusted, noting that she claimed during evaluations last year that she had faked her delusions about Slender Man and actually attacked Leutner as a way of escaping her abusive father. He hinted that was a ploy to make the release more likely. The judge shrugged that off, saying it's not unusual for mental illness diagnosis to evolve. What I will say about this is if she does have schizophrenia, if it is a lifelong diagnosis, to keep it is very hard to have people with schizophrenia take their be in medicine compliance. She is a ticking time bomb. If they don't have someone checking up on her compliance with her medication, with if she is keeping touch with reality, this is going to be, oh, Chizu. Thank you, Jeff Montgomery. You are a font of knowledge. Still not going to attempt what obviously looks like a linguistic hate crime. But I do have an issue with if her release is not carefully monitored, if she is not monitored, we are sending a loose cannon out. And I don't want everyone to be kept in jail for the rest of their daggone lives. But this is basically like putting a loaded force multiplier in the middle of the forest, and if a kid comes up and doesn't know how to deal with it, then, well, things happen, I guess. She's if she was claiming that she lied about the whole thing, it's pretty gross. Good morning, Boomer and Fraudit Terminator. Well, there you go. See, we learn things, do things every day. Hopefully, the group home, she will have to be monitored to take her meds. I don't know. I see this being a gamble. We do have a story of, it looks like a homeless man taken into custody in connection to the Kenneth fire in LA's West Hills as residents detain him. So it looks like there was a little bit of a citizen's arrest. And good thing. Any moron that is starting fires out in Los Angeles, I don't care if they're homed or not homed, get them off the street. One person has been taken into custody in connection to the Kenneth fire, which erupted Thursday afternoon in Los Angeles West Hills, as ferocious wildfires continue to tear through Southern California. LAPD launched an arson investigation at Victory Trailhead, where the devastating fire broke out, with the area being treated as a crime scene, Brian Etten of News Nation wrote on X. The Kenneth Fire sparked just after 2:30 p.m. and has since spread over 800 acres and continues to rip through Ventura County, Los Angeles Fire Chief Kristen Crowley told reporters Thursday night. About 20 to 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by a bunch of citizens. LAPD senior lead officer Sean Deans told Etienne. How and why the fire started is still not clear, he added, but the blaze is being investigated as a crime. The suspect is a homeless man in his 30s, according to Fox LA's Alex Mitchelson, who added that firefighters appear to have gained the upper hand on that particular blaze. Los Angeles Fire Department initially issued a mandatory evacuation order for the area known as Hidden Hills, but had downgraded that to mere warnings. The LAPD could not confirm the arrest or its possible connections to the Kenneth Fire. At least 20 people were arrested Wednesday and Thursday morning for looting homes damaged or destroyed by the catastrophic wildfires ripping through the City of Angels, according to Los Angeles County Sheriff Department. 5 separate fires sparked Tuesday morning and days later have ravaged nearly 30,000 acres or 47 square miles in Los Angeles County, causing mass destruction and evacuations. Some 130,000 Californians have been under evacuation orders from multiple major fires, which include the Palisades Fire of West Los Angeles, the Eaton Fire of North Pasadena, and the Sunset Fire in the Hollywood Hills. The largest blaze, the Palisades Fire, has burned nearly 20,000 acres alongside the coast and destroyed nearly 5,000 homes and structures in its path. The out-of-control Eaton Fire has now destroyed or damaged between 5,000 homes as the blaze exploded to 13,690 acres on Thursday. The cause of all these 5 fires, 3 of which are completely uncontained at the moment, remain unknown and are under investigation. So it's insane out there, you guys. We do have the incredibly sad news. It looks like we have IDs of at least 5 Los Angeles residents that lost their lives in this fire or in these fires. 5 Los Angeles residents killed in wildfires ID'd, including amputee who was a great-grandfather of 10 and son with cerebral palsy. A man battling to save his home of 55 years, a great-grandfather of 10 and his adult son with cerebral palsy, an 83-year-old grandfather found in his bed, and a retired pharmacy technician are among at least 10 victims killed by the devastating fires still tearing through Los Angeles. I will give you guys, a heads up. These numbers are going to continue to grow, unfortunately, as they are able to go into these devastated areas with, cadaver dogs, with people. These numbers are unfortunately going to grow. 5 fires have burned more than 10,000 structures along the City of Angels and are still raging out of control, with the 2 largest, the Palisade Fire and the Eaton Fire, at 6% and 0% containment. Let's see if we can get to the IDs of the people, because we kind of know the situation on the ground. Victor Shaw, the body of Victor Shaw, the first victim to be identified, was discovered badly burned, still holding his garden hose outside his family home of 55 years on Wednesday morning. Shaw, 66, had refused to evacuate, instead stayed behind to try to save the home he shared with his sister on Montrose Avenue. His youngest sister, Sherry Shaw, was with her brother as flames crept onto their home Tuesday night and described in agony how she lost sight of him as she fled for her life. When I went back in and yelled out his name, he didn't reply back, and I had to get out because the embers were so big, flying like a firestorm. I had to save myself. And I looked behind me, and the house started going up in flames, and I had to leave. She wanted to stay behind to battle the blaze, even though her health issues had limited her, and he also suffered health issues that limited his mobility. So Please leave if you're asked to evacuate. I know it is incredibly easy for me to save from my nice, safe room with all of my stuff, but please, you are unique and special and can't be replaced. Unfortunately, our memories will never be replaced, but our houses can. So please don't just stay somewhere. Anthony and Justin Mitchell, retired salesperson. Anthony Mitchell, 67, a 67-year-old amputee, and his bedridden son Justin, who was in his 20s, passed away when the Eaton fire hit Altadena Wednesday. His daughter Hemji White told Washington Post. Anthony was a great-grandfather of 10 who used a wheelchair to get around and lived with his son Justin, who had cerebral palsy. Anthony had called White, who lived in Arkansas, Wednesday morning to tell them they were evacuating their home. He said, "Baby, I'm just letting you know the fire's broken out and we're going to have to evacuate," she recalled. Then he said, "I've got to go. There's fire in the yard." A few hours later, she learned that her father and brother were unfortunately killed when the blaze tore through the region. This is a picture of the gentleman we're talking about right now. It fell on me like a ton of bricks, she told Washington Post. Anthony, a big-hearted man who had nicknames for everyone, had 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 10 great-grandchildren. Her half-brother Justin used a computer to communicate and read. He wasn't going to leave his son behind, no matter what, White said of her father. Rodney Nickerson. Family members found 83-year-old Rodney Nickerson dead on his bed Thursday amid the rubble of his Altadena home he had purchased in 1968 for $5 after the beloved grandfather refused to evacuate, his daughter told CBS News. We found all of him in there. He was intact. Kimco Nickerson sat outside the ruins of the only place she ever called home. This is the house I came to as a child, where I've been my whole life. I don't know anywhere else other than here. Myself, my brother, my son Chase, his other grandchildren. This is where we've been our whole life. Rodney refused to leave his home of decades despite Kimco's and her 25-year-old son's desperate pleas. My son tried to get him to leave, and my neighbors and myself, and he said, "I'll be fine. I'll be here when you guys come back." He said his home would be here. The grieving daughter said, "His house is here, and he was here too." Rodney was a retired project engineer for Lockheed Martin, where he worked for 45 years alongside his late wife. The Nickerson family has strong roots in the community. Rodney's late grandfather and Kimiko's great-great-grandfather, William Nickerson, was the founder of Golden State Mutual Life Insurance Company and Los Angeles' largest public housing development. Erlene Kelly. Erlene Kelly was a retired pharmacy technician who similarly died in her Altadena house, where she had lived for years, according to family members and neighbors. Kelly had worked at Rite Aid and was beloved by her longtime neighbors, who described her as so sweet. She was an angel, neighbor Terry Pilburn told the newspaper. "That's the perfect neighbor. When you see her, you have a smile." Pilburn and Kelly would often make small talk about neighborly things like gardening and local news, he added. Fiburn said people in the neighborhood rushed to evacuate at the last minute due to what he said was poor communication from officials. He and his wife initially believed they were not in the evacuation zone until they started to smell smoke. "It was panic. Everyone took off and no one thought to check on anyone. I think the notice came too late." So there are going to be more of these stories coming out. I know that there is an incredible snowstorm raging its way through the South. If you can stay off the roads and you're in the affected area to let first responders get out, do that. Obviously, I understand you can't stop lives. Or you can't stop your lives. So if you need to travel, travel. But if you can stay out of these areas, please do. The loss of life is going to be tremendous. We're going to find a lot of people that I think were left behind or poorly communicated evacuation, notices. So this is just going to be a rough slog with a lot of this information coming out. Well, the nation paid its honors to Jimmy Carter, and, you know, all the politicians had to get in. So Biden honors Jimmy Carter's faith, character in a state funeral attended by all living presidents, a dear friend and a good man who was not a zombie, regardless of what my youngest son thinks. President Biden honored late President Jimmy Carter at a state funeral in Washington, D.C. on Thursday, hailing the humble Georgia peanut farmer as a principled statesman who reshaped America and the world for the better with his deep Christian faith. I was a 31-year-old senator, Biden, 82, recalled of his first meeting with Carter in 1974, and I was the first senator outside of Georgia and maybe the first senator to endorse his candidacy for president, with an endorsement based in what I believe was Jimmy Carter's enduring attributes: character, character, character. It's an accumulation of a million things based on character that leads a good life in a decent country, he said. The two enjoyed a long friendship that culminated in Biden and First Lady Jill Biden visiting Carter and his wife Rosalind at their home in Paris, Georgia, during his first year in office. They said that they were greeted like family. Jimmy Carter's friendship taught me strength of character is more than title or the power we hold. It's the strength to understand that everyone should be treated with dignity, respect, and that everyone, and I mean everyone, deserves a shot. That character, Biden contended in his eulogy at the Washington National Cathedral alongside other world leaders and former presidents, was only possible because of the 39th president's deep Christian faith in God. Throughout his life, he showed all of us what it means to be a practitioner of good works, a good and faithful servant of God and people. The president said, today, many think he was from a bygone era, but in reality, he saw well into the future. Biden went on to list Carter's achievements while in the White House and after leaving office, claiming that they were the fruit of both his modest upbringing and keeping faith with the best of humankind and the best of America. A white Southern Baptist who led civil rights, a decorated Navy veteran who brokered peace, a brilliant nuclear engineer who led nuclear nonproliferation, a hardworking farmer who championed conservation and clean energy. He somewhat contradictorily described the ex-commander in chief. In the words of the prophet Micah, who Jimmy so admired until his final breath, Jimmy Carter did justly, loved mercifully, and walked humbly. May God bless a great American, a dear friend, and a good man. Carter, who passed away last month at the age of 100, rose from a childhood in a home without running water or electricities in Plains to become a U.S. Navy officer, Georgia's governor between 1971 and 1975, and eventually the president from 1977 to 1981. And thank you to all you guys chatting in chat. It is hard to sometimes keep up with chat and continue reading, but thanks for all of you guys hanging out here. While succeeding in the presidency, by engineering the Camp David Accords, he faced a series of trials in his final years, with Russia invading Afghanistan, the Iran hostage crisis, during which 53 Americans were kidnapped from the U.S. Embassy in Tehran while being held captive for 444 days. Americans' perception of Carter's increasing weakness on the world stage enabled Republican Ronald Reagan to defeat the incumbent Democrat in 1980 in a 489 to 49, electoral landslide. All the hostages were released from Iran shortly after Carter left office. Now, critics have noted many similarities between the Biden and Carter presidency. If you want to look at, if you want to look more, I wasn't alive during President Carter's time, so I have a, 2020 hindsight opinion of how he did based on history books. I didn't live during his timeline. The things that he seems to have invested in, getting rid of the guinea worm and working with homes or houses for humanity or Habitat for Humanity, I swear. Those are a read of a good man to me. On paper, it didn't seem like with a lot of his policies, he connected with the American people, but, oh, and congratulations on your new job, Jen. Uh, but, he seemed like a decent, good person. He lived a long life. He stayed with his wife. He had kids. So I am sad that he's leaving behind, his family members who are going to miss him. But other than that, I don't really have an opinion. Although I am sorry, as I said, that my youngest was sure he was going to turn into a zombie and be taken out by, you know, vampire hunter Abraham Lincoln. So, it's one of them things. Now, in our weirdest story of the day, because I just don't think I can beat this. Y'all, I really don't. In fact, I pre-made the tag. I was this sure that this was going to be the weirdest story of the day. Jerry Springer producers were petrified to pitch man who left his family to marry a Shetland pony. A train wreck. Apparently, this is the mythic band episode of Jerry Springer. I must find this and we will watch this on Discord because this looks like a train wreck that Mo would buy a ticket for. The episode was banned from every market but New York City for, quote, glorifying bestiality, end quote. Nothing like good old Jerry Springer. Tipper's just turning over in her grave, Tipper Gore. Or is she still alive? Okay, my belated and sincere apologies if Tipper Gore, you are still alive. I thought you had passed away. So, if you are still alive, congratulations on your current livingness. The Jerry Springer Show had many shocking guests through its 27-season run, but one of them really stands out in the minds of those who worked behind the scenes. Producer Toby Yoshimura recalls an unforgettable phone call from a viewer that led to an episode so scandalous it would only air one single time in a single market. Yoshimura is one of the several staffers on the talk show who appear in a new Netflix documentary, Jerry Spring, Fight Camera Action. It had to be 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning when I get a call from this guy, and he says, "My name is Mark, and I've been meaning to call the show for a long time because you guys are the only people who would really understand me. I left my wife and my daughters for a Shetland pony," Yoshimara recalls in the documentary. I was like, "This is an effing dream," Yoshimara continues. He said that he and his pony, Pixel, looked at each other and they had immediate connection, as you do. Despite being petrified to pitch it, the executive producers were excited about the prospect of having the Shetland pony and his husband on the show because I mean, how many people can say? I mean, ask Ricky Lake. I bet you Sally, Jesse, and Raphael didn't have the pony. This makes My Little Pony jokes so weird. The team worked extra hard to keep the reveal under wraps up until the day the episode filmed. Quote, "I married a horse." It aired on May 2020 or 22nd, 1998. There was this weird buzz in the studio where no one could talk about it. We were all sworn to silence because we had to make it a surprise. Call me a naive Nancy, but you bring out a guy in holy matrimonial bonds to a Shetland pony, Imma be shocked whether I knew about it or not. I'm still gonna be surprised if you warned me beforehand or afterhand because we've got Mr. Ed and his life partner here. This is how Disney's gonna remake Mr. Ed. They are now life partners. Disney, don't do it. I know you already have it in the pipeline. Allegedly, I'm making this up right now, but don't. Wilbur. Mental health, people, can we what in the name of all that is holy? Also, I don't wanna ask because I know how they got Mr. Ed to talk. Didn't they put peanut butter on his mouth? So I'm not even gonna ask what happens to the peanut butter in this particular house. We need Jesus and some holy water for this one. Uh, you watch the cutaways to the audience, and they're, like, shocked. It was so shocking, no one could speak. Chicago Sun-Times media critic Robert Feder found the display horrific. To have a guy on that married a horse that was kissing a horse on stage, this was the most vile, grotesque freak show on television. Now it's just Wednesday night. Poor Jerry Springer, always getting yelled at. Executive producer Robert Dominic disagreed. In the documentary, he calls it the perfect show and notes it's everything I ever wanted it to be. The episode aired in New York City metro area before being pulled by other networks and markets for quote unquote glorifying bestiality. Producer Melina Chat Mel adds the fact it got banned, that it hit every major newspaper in the country, that Jerry Springer Show had done its show, even if it didn't air. People were so curious about it, so disgusted, but so drawn. It's the train wreck you can't rip your eyes off. I mean, yeah, we all knew we were not going to Jerry Springer to get the life lessons that Sally Jesse Raphael and her red glasses could give us. If you want a ratchet fight, you go to Jerry Springer. If you want life lessons and Sally Jesse L tells you a little life lesson at the end of the show, where is Sally Jesse? Did she die? Because I'm gonna be pissed off if Sally Jesse, died. We went to Ricky Lake if you wanted someone a little younger, but Sally Jesse was where you went. 90s kids are Mille younger kids are like, "Who is Sally Jesse Raphael? Is it like a Ninja Turtle?" Well, you always have to check who you're texting to. Tech-challenged Florida woman busted after accidentally texting a cop instead of her drug dealer. You really need to change the names on those, Popo and then Little Po. Make sure you need to have, like, 50 in Little Po. "Oh, she's still alive? Bring her back, we need her glasses." She wanted some more dope, but not report one. A tech-challenged Florida woman accidentally texted a cop instead of her drug dealer to buy fentanyl, as you do. Unwittingly narking on herself, according to police who arrested her. Well, I mean, who hasn't fat fingered their phone and sent something ridiculous to their mom in the morning? Octavia Wells, 41, had been headed to rehab on New Year's Eve when she texted a man she had previously entered into her phone as PJ and allegedly offered to pay $45 for not street legal pharmaceuticals, according to Bay County Sheriff's Office. The dim-witted druggie then arranged to meet the guy on the other line at Tom Thumb convenience store in Panama City, according to the police report. But when she arrived at the store, narcotics cops were waiting there to arrest her. Daggone, just can't win for losing. Wells soon learned she'd mistakenly contacted Stephen Pettijohn, an investigator with the Bay County Sheriff's Office, known as PJ, with whom she'd have a previous iteration, according to police. And thank you, Kay, for gifting one membership, and that went to Crystal Desario. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have chocolate, dark chocolate, day drinking today because, y'all, 2 of my 6 children have school today. The rest of them, Now, I want you to look into my eyes. Look into these eyes, into these bags that have not seen a good night's sleep in 17 years. There is no snow. There is no snow on the ground. It is not snowing. 4 of my 6 children have e-learning today. The roads are clear. I'm gonna need someone to explain this because thus far, 2 instructors have yet to show up on our Zoom learning days. Like, just haven't even shown up. Imma need someone to explain something to me, because 'cause I'm a mom on the edge. She allegedly told cops that Pettijohn's name was similar to her drug dealer. I mean, that's why I have them color coded to be in my phone. I have 50 and it has a little warning sign, and then I have dispensary. No, duh, what? Details of Wales' previous interaction with the neighbor or investigator were not described in the complaint. Well, y that's why you need to label things. She was charged with unlawful use of a communication device, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. As you do, driving unsafely while you're going to get not street legal pharmaceuticals. I mean, sure. What in the name of probation is all that tattoos? If he doesn't have a no regrets tattoo on his chest, and I'm horrified with myself because I'm like, "He has some beard game going on, though." Like, that is a tight and trim beard. If I could just get away from the spider. Arachnophobia hit me hard, sir. I'm gonna need you to cover up the spider, it offends me. A Long Island man indicted in a strange case of a missing teen rescued from a boat, but attorneys claim that there is a lot more to the story. Of course, there's a lot more to the story. I mean, sure. A 65-year-old man linked to alleged trafficking of a Long Island teenager who went missing for nearly a month was indicted by a grand jury, Suffolk County prosecutors revealed Thursday. Francis, Francis Buckaheat, who was arrested on rape and kidnapping charges over the weekend, is now scheduled to be arraigned for indictment next week in the case of 14-year-old Emma Ray Gervaisi, who went missing from her Patahooch home on December 9th and surfaced last week on a boat docked in a slip. Now, Buckheat's lawyer, Daniela Papa, chatted with reporters afterwards. He's emotional, but he maintains his innocence, Papa told the Post. These are very serious charges, but as all individuals who are charged with a crime, he deserves the presumption of innocence. He plans on fighting these charges as much as he can. Or as much as he can, there's a lot more of a story than what's being told, Papa said. Police and prosecutors have not confirmed Buckheat's link to Gervaisi's mysterious disappearance, but the teen's father said his daughter was trafficked and plied with drugs by unsavory character. Frank Gervaisi said that Emma narcotics in the past and was wearing and monitoring ankle bracelet when she left the family home and got into a car with an unidentified man. Now, surveillance video shows the girl knocking on doors at Bohemia Motel the next day before disappearing again until her dad got a tip and rescued her from a boat in Islip Marina. Now, he said his daughter was traumatized and recovering from a weeks-long ordeal. Prosecutors have not revealed whether there could be additional suspects in the case. Okay, so this is the father. And again, beard game great. Face tattoos, not sure how I feel about that, but your daughter is home. Get her some therapy, get her some help. These are going to be things. Oh, eye slip. Thank you. Y'all know I don't leave my house. I don't know how to pronounce thing anywhere else. Uh, Hopefully she is getting the mental health support, the emotional support to deal with this violation and what she has been through. The indictment against Bucky, which authorities said includes a January 3rd drunk driving arrest, is expected to be unsealed when he returns to court next week. Meanwhile, Papa said she's still trying to sort out the charges against her client. I'm going to have further conversations with him to find out exactly what he's saying happened, the lawyer said outside the court. The case is relatively new and we're still conducting our investigation. There's a lot more work that needs to be done at this particular point. So hopefully we get some answers. This family gets some answers. Well, don't make me root for Alec Baldwin, y'all. Don't. I already said something nice about, oh, ISIL, Isle. You know, if they could just put phonetic spellings in there, that would be great. Alec Baldwin files a civil rights lawsuit against Santa Fe officials over Rust prosecution. Again, don't make me root for Alec Baldwin. He's such a douchey McDouche. But they did kind of hide discovery and try to do those big old Brady violations. So, I'll hold my nose and be on Alec Baldwin's side. Alec Baldwin has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the district attorney and other officials in Santa Fe, New Mexico, alleging that he was wrongfully prosecuted for manslaughter in the accidental shooting of Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins. In the 73-page complaint, Baldwin accuses DA Mary Carmack Altweiss, Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey, and investigators on the case of a series of abuses, including eliciting false testimony and withholding exculpatory evidence. Defendants, while acting under the color of the law, conspired to procure groundless indictment against Baldwin and maliciously bring about or advance Baldwin's trial and conviction, thus violating Baldwin's constitutional rights by their improper use of the criminal process, the lawsuit states. Baldwin filed the suit 2 weeks after the state's attorney general refused to pursue an appeal of a judge order dismissing the case, thus ending the prosecution. Among the defendants are the 1st Judicial District's Attorney's Office and the Santa Fe County Board of Commissioners. Criminal prosecutions are supposed to be about the search for the truth and justice, not to pursue personal or political gain or harass the innocent. Unhung hero, I'm afraid that she might be. This might be something that I look at as far as something to do today. I am trying to look at the new interview with the Delphi lawyers that just came out on a local news station to see if they're going to copyright strike me if I pay that. And no, this is never going to be over. Said Baldwin's lawyers, Alex Spiro and Luke Nikas, in a statement. Carrie Morrissey and the other defendants violated that basic principle over and over and trampled on Alec Baldwin's rights. We bring this action to hold the defendants accountable for their misconduct and to prevent them from doing this to anyone else. Now, Baldwin went on trial in Santa Fe last July. He was accused of involuntary manslaughter on the theory that he willfully violated gun safety rules for movie sets when he pointed the Colt 45 at Hutchins and pulled the trigger. Unbeknownst to anyone on the set, the gun was loaded with a live .45 caliber round, which killed Hutchins and wounded director Joel Sousa. The case was dismissed 3 days into the trial after Judge Mary Marlowe Summer ruled that special prosecutor had improperly withheld evidence from the defense. Shortly after the trial, Spiro sent letters to Morrissey and to Sheriff Aiden Mendoza advising them to preserve evidence given the potential for future litigation based on your actions in connection with Mr. Baldwin's prosecution. Baldwin's attorneys repeatedly argued that he should have never been charged, saying it was not his job to verify that the, firearm was loaded only with dummy ammunition. In the weeks and months leading up to the trial, they also vociferously complained that Morrissey had withheld evidence that should have been turned over in the discovery process. During the trial, the defense uncovered that Morrissey had not disclosed a cache of bullets that had been turned over to investigators in March, and that the evidence could have been relevant in understanding how live ammunition made its way onto set. Morrissey argued that she believed that the bullets did not match the live rounds from the rust set and therefore had no obligation to turn them over. But when the judge cut open an evidence envelope in the court, she discovered that three of the bullets did share some of the same characteristics as the fatal round. Marlowe Summer dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it could not be refiled, finding the state, quote, highly culpable, quote, or end quote, for failing to turn over the evidence. Carmack Altweiss, the elected DA in Santa Fe, has defended Morrissey, a private attorney whom she appointed to handle the Rust case. But the Attorney General's office was sharply critical of Morrissey, saying that appealing the judge's decision would have been untenable given the judge's blistering assessment of the special prosecutor's mishandling of the case. Perhaps if the district attorney had selected someone with more direct experience as a prosecutor, this outcome could have been avoided, the Attorney General's spokesperson said last month. Yeah, if you don't understand the ins and outs of all of the rules and, standard operating procedures you are required to cover because you are now representing the state and have that burden, then you don't have any job being in that position. You are just going to create reversible error that is going to either shut down your case, cost the taxpayers money, or make you look like you have egg on your face. And I am going to need all lordshipy attendance because this chick has pissed me off. And not only are you going to ruin Lilo and Stitch, but you're going to be gross. Quote, she used a Lilo and Stitch blanket, end quote. Mother first accused of fatally poisoning her two children actually did something far more sinister, police say. Cops in Tennessee detailed in court this week how a mother unalived her 1-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter by smothering them with their childhood Lilo and Stitch blanket. Jessica Chandler, 29, is charged with first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse in the deaths of her children, Vista and Eli Chandler. The Johnson City Police Department responded to the home on October 29th after the children's father found them unresponsive. Officer Gary Pierce on Tuesday testified as responding to the 911 call and found the father administering CPR on one of the kids in the front yard, according to courtroom report from local CBS affiliate WJHL. Medical personnel arrived to give aid to Vista and Eli while he went into the house. Inside, he found Chandler in the bathtub with cuts to her arms. So it seems like she had attempted to self-delete as well. Now, paramedics transported Chandler to the hospital, but the children were unfortunately beyond saving. Detectives began to investigate how the two young children had passed away. They were quickly able to gather key clues. Investigator Michael Fowler testified that he recovered 3 notes taped to some cabinets near the entrance. He said that Chandler wrote them admitting to the unalivings, so it was going to be a unaliving self-delete. Her reason, in part, was she felt she could not protect them, Fowler testified. Since there was no trauma to the children, cops first opined that maybe she had poisoned them, but in a subsequent interview with Chandler, another clue was revealed. She pointed out the property list that she used a Lilo and Stitch blanket to smother her daughter, and then she did the same to her son. The judge determined that there was enough evidence to present the case to a grand jury. She remains in the Washington County Jail on $2 million bond. She is due in court on March 31st. So this is going to be an upcoming case. I might cover this one. It is probably going to be huge. Unfortunately, kid cases are very hard. So we'll see about when this one actually goes to trial. We're going to need Lord Chippy attendants to stay right chair because we've got another one. True Jeffrey Montgomery. A Florida doctor accused of exploiting 10 children, including a teen, found no longer living. Well, it seems okay, I'm not going to say that out loud. That's a mean one. I'm going to hold my peace and then I might say what I just thought. A Florida doctor was federally indicted on allegations that he sexually exploited 10 children, including a teenage girl who was found dead after he directed her to hurt herself, according to prosecutors and court documents. Stephen Andrew Leedy of St. Petersburg is charged with 3 counts of production of child sexual abuse material and 2 counts of coercing or enticing a minor to engage in activities. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Florida sent in a statement Monday. Leedy, 59, a palliative care doctor in the Tampa area, exploited 10 minors online using the username Maximum Uncle pound 9112. Now, Maximum Uncle, that's a hell no, I am not friending you. That is, you leave me the hell alone, you stay the hell away from me, and don't let me find you near my kids. He was arrested December 20th in Georgia, court records say. He faces a maximum penalty of life in prison if he is convicted on all charges. And I was going to say that the trash had taken itself out because I thought he was the one. I thought this gross man who had abused children was the one that passed away. So I was kind of hoping that the trash had just, American justice system, Jesus done took care of it, but no. Welcome, Shizzy Raiders. Good to see ya. Leeds attorneys Bjorn Burvond and Lucas Fleming said Thursday their client was being held at the Federal Correction Institution at Tallahassee. In a statement, the lawyer said that Leedy denies any wrongdoing and that they plan to enter a not guilty plea. Our client, Stephen Leedy, adamantly denies charges that have been filed against him in federal court. It is particularly important in moments like this, when someone is being accused of very troubling allegations, we afford him the presumption of innocence, the statement says. We will be entering a not guilty plea at the earliest opportunity to look forward to vigorously defending Dr. Leedy in court. Through online conversations and video chats, Leedy instructed the minors to produce explicit images of themselves, then directed them to cut, choke, or hang themselves. Tell your parents, kiddos, listen, look, Mama Mo here. Your parents are not going to be pissed off at you. If you have some weird creepo with the name Maximum Uncle trying to get you to do stuff that makes you feel incredibly uncomfortable, tell Mama Mo. We will get the posse out. Tell your parents, tell someone. Do not put something out on the internet for someone else's enjoyment that you don't know who they are. Don't get what is wrong with this person? Also, Mr., innocent until proven guilty. I would agree with you if this was a state case, but the feds, as much as they suck out loud on everything else, they really do have a good track record of not bringing cases, at least on the federal level, of child grossness production unless they have you dead to rights. Josh Duggar, I'm looking at you. So when the feds come in and they say you've got some, grossness on your computer, when they say they have the deets, they do. The feds do not play with this. So, yes, you have the assumption of innocence, but the feds don't play when it comes to, let's say, gross, disgusting monsters. So, nice try. Now, on November 22nd or November 2022, a 13-year-old girl was found no longer living in a shower a motion for pretrial detention said. The girl's cell phone was propped up on her bathtub directly in front of her, and it had showed that she had been talking to Maximum Uncle, hashtag 911 too, who was later determined to be Leedy, according to the motion. Now, through a search warrant, law enforcement reviewed Leedy's account on social media applications not named in the motion, which showed that there were several other minor victims. Leedy never revealed his true identity online. The motion said he hid behind a cloak of anonymity, either lying about his identity or using a black screen while engaging in video calls with minor victims. The Florida Department of Health records showed that Leedy's medical license expires January 31st, 2026. An emergency suspension order was filed Tuesday, according to the health department. Parents, check on your kiddos. I know we don't want to be the police, we don't want to be their probation officers, but try to have open communication with who they're talking to, because this isn't like AOL where we all, were told not to use our real names and to pretend we were all 18. You have some real people, real sick people that walk around and look just like the rest of us, who just gross. Just absolutely gross. Well, rack of justice can sometimes work, and misdemeanor, relief can happen with double D's, but I wouldn't try it because usually you're just going to get in trouble. An alleged Alta shoplifter accused of offering sexual acts in cash to a Texas deputy for freedom, as photo shows her disheveled in a cop car. Or you can just pay for your concealer like the rest of us heifers do. How about that? Look, do you think I want to go into Ulta and pay 30 damn dollars for some concealer that I still look like I haven't slept since 1984? No, but I do because the other is stealing. So, you know, it's just not going to work. A hot mess accused of stealing. Holy Jesus, eyebrows and a half. What in the arachnophobia are those eyelashes? And is that a Eugene Levy unibrow? Holy God, she's got two caterpillars and spiders on her face. A hot mess accused of stealing nearly $200 worth of beauty products from a popular chain store in Texas allegedly offered a deputy, well, some lovin' and cash in hopes that he would let her go Wednesday, according to law enforcement. Uh, Sherry Villalobos Santayo, 30. Uh, okay, and her name, anyone have any idea? Chihiri? Chihiri. Okay, anyway. Walked out of Ulta Beauty with more than $186 worth of concealed goodies that she'd never paid for, the Harris County Precinct 4 constable said. The woman was tracked down by police and taken into custody, authorities said. As Villalobos Centello was being hauled away to jail, she allegedly attempted to persuade the male deputy to let her go by, offering the oldest business known to mankind, I guess. Unfortunately, he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna take you to work. You're not worth losing benefits for some reason." Again, Caterpillar 1, Caterpillar 2, creepy spiders. Oh, it's probably just pronounced cherry, but they had to just be ridiculous. Absolutely, Earl. My favorite is I have seen a name and I didn't even really know it existed. I thought that this was a simulation, but La and then a dash, so it's LaDasha, which, I didn't think I would ever think that right there, but there you go. A photo released at the law enforcement agency shows the suspect red-faced and disheveled in the back of a police cruiser. She did arrive at the county jail and was booked on theft and bribery charges. So, Yeah, do not offer said, double D's of getting out of justice if, again, the insects on your face are scaring me. You guys, I know this is a Friday, but what in the name of all that is Hades? We we may have a tie for what the hell headlines. Uh, Force multiplier get play came after a male duo's smexy time. We're gonna see how much I can actually read of this. January 6th. It turns out that Florida men, or this particular Florida man, did not like it so rough. Police say that James Newland, 61, and his 33-year-old boyfriend repaired last Friday, or were repaired, doesn't seem the word you would use in this sentence, last Friday to Newland's bedroom to, you know, be married timey. Now, according to the cops, the younger man's told Newland that, he liked it a little spicy, put a little sting on that, if you would. So he smacked Newland's behind hard enough to leave a handprint. Well, apparently that was the safe word time. We should have gone to yellow. But he didn't read all of 50 Shades of Grey, so he didn't know that. After Newland told the victim to stop, that hurt, the man apologized and, put his underoos back on and returned to the living room. While Newland subsequently appeared in the living room and allegedly grabbed a revolver from the side table and pointed a force multiplier at the victim, saying, "You want to try me? You want to try me now?" As the victim departed the residence, Newland's cop charge fired one shot into his porch's pavement. Okay, it's dumb enough to point a force multiplier straight up in the air and let it go, but you are now firing it actively into concrete for ricochet. The more you know, guy. You are a Mensa member. Now, Newland, shockingly enough, smelled like booze and had slurred speech, but gave consent to search his home, where cops found approximately 9 firearms and ammunition. 2 other firearms were removed from Newland's car, cops noted, and they found a bottle of lotion in the bedroom. I am not mature enough because can you imagine the deputy? Yeah, we found some Jergens over here on the left side. Is this part of the crime scene? Asking every teenage boy mother, yes, that is part of the crime scene, but no, I will not be cleaning it up. As seen above, Newland was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a felony, and 2 misdemeanor force multiplier counts. Newland was released from county jail on New Year's Eve after posting $25,500 in bond. He was ordered by the judge to have no contact with the victim. Well, I guess they're not going to be remarried or get back together. No makeup smexy time for them. We are at the end times, you guys, because I honestly kind of like these and I hate dagger nails, but these are actually like I love the nail octopus. I'm not gonna lie. I get a nail-topus as long as it had a middle finger showing on every end of the last tentacle, but this is some $2,000 for some nails. I'm gonna need y'all to explain something to me. Beautician's crazy nail art takes sometimes 14 hours to create and can cost nearly $2,000. I like shocking people. Well, you tell me you spent $2,000 on your nails, I'm gonna be shocked. A beautician who spends up to 14 hours painting a single set of nails with intricate 3D designs says her most expensive set cost a whopping $1,800. Lisa Kim, 27, started painting nails in 2022, but only initially would use block colors. She soon realized to get noticed for her work, she would need to think outside the box and began creating incredible designs, including an afternoon tea set, an ocean theme design, and a wicked theme. Lisa can spend anywhere between 2 and 14 painstaking hours on each intricate design, which she usually comes up with on the spot. I mean, that's insanely cool, but how are you going to function? I mean, look, I have to wash a lot of dishes. I just see, like, gunk getting in everywhere and making your hand all flumpy. I mean, I do a lot of cross stitching and stuff. I can just see thread everywhere. I mean, it's beautiful, I'm not gonna lie, but I just don't see why you would wear it on your nail. Also, I have some questions about personal, well, private area safety when involved in that, because I'm pretty sure Nemo is not to go certain areas, and I don't even know what we're gonna do with the turtle, but that turtle's gonna see things he doesn't wanna see if I have to wipe my behind. Now, clients pay anywhere from $110 to $140 an hour for her work. Lisa from Melbourne, Australia said, "When I first started doing nails, I knew I wanted to be one known in Melbourne for doing crazy ideas. It did take a lot of work to get to this point, but fortunately, I'm lucky to have clients that trust me." Well, I'd have to trust you to give you $1,800 for a pair of damn nails, and my husband would have to be passed away because when I tried to explain that on the credit card, I'd need to have a real good excuse or a case. I mean, they're pretty nails, but I don't get it. I don't. I just don't. When I first started, I was doing very simple designs. She said, you know, I was doing what everyone else was. Then I realized I would need to be different to think outside the box with my designs. Lisa launched her business 3 years ago after quitting her jobs as a table games dealer in a casino. She took part in a nail course and quit her jobs without having any clients. Lisa said, "I don't like being simple or plain. I like shocking people." I mean, they're cute. Again, I'm sure it takes talent, but I don't get it. Now I really wanna get my nails done, but I always felt distinctly intimidated because I'm not the most girly girl when I go in there. So they always come up to me and they like, "You want your eyebrows look like mine?" And I'm not gonna lie to you. Their eyebrows always look like, "No more wire hangers." And I'm always like, "Well, I'd like, half of the wire hangers that you have in there, and then I'd like a little bit sexy in the arch if you could give me that. But other than that, I don't have any wire hangers in my house, so I won't be needing that aggressive of an eyebrow." And then they'll push on to, "You want your lip wax? You want no more mustache?" And I'm like, "Well, I was feeling good about myself until I came in here, but thank you for making me feel the way my mom does. Anything else you'd like to tell me? Did you notice, like, a gray hair or a bald spot you could tell me about? I don't feel completely defeated as a female yet." She said that she started right after the coup. Melbourne had a big lockdown, so she started doing nails full time. Lisa says she doesn't practice her designs, opting to do them for the first time with her client. She asks the client what color or theme they'd like and usually gets given free rein to do what she wants. I should. If it weren't going to snow today, I would definitely go out. Most of the designs you see on my clients are the first time I'm ever doing it, so I wing it. Okay, y'all, did she have a daggone Tamagotchi on here? She has a daggone Tamagotchi Hatchimal on. I feel seen. I'm gonna go get my Hatchimal. I'm pretty sure it's dead. I was a terrible, or Tamagoto or whatever the little digital pets were. Look, I am not gonna say that I could never keep my digital pets alive, but I always forgot that they existed or lost them. So, my apologies to my digital pets. I hope you're still out there somewhere. My usual appointments take about 2.5 hours. The longest appointment lasted 14 hours. It was an ocean theme with a lamp effect, and every finger had a different sea animal on it. Lisa said that she finds a lot of inspiration for her designs watching old Alexander McQueen runways. There you go. A lot of my designs come from runway fashion pieces. Well, it looks like it comes from last night's dinner, if you'll be honest, but hey, fun. Don't get it? Don't understand it, but if you're making bank and people like them, then ma'am, you have fun with that. I don't understand it. Have okay. Not the guy you want to have, trembly fingers. I don't know why so much of today is, well, purely taking place in general no-no spaces. But a urologist was deemed a threat to public welfare after allegedly using a little bit of the nose powder, the YouTube powder, if you will, during surgery, impaired, and he was also impaired during a prostate biopsy. Again, not the guy you want to have shaky hands. A Texas doctor was accused of using not street legal pharmaceuticals while performing delicate surgery on his patients, and all the while, his license was suspended. He could still get it back, though. Nathan Stark, 39, a urologist at Houston Methodist Hospital in Houston, Texas, was suspected of using, pharmaceuticals during surgery. According to the Texas Medical Board, Stark participated in several surgeries in August and September of 2024 while appearing impaired. You lost me at the several. Like, I get we maybe could, let you slide if you're a cashier at Rite Aid. But pilots and doctors, I kinda like them sober. So, you get suspected of, being on the Colombian nose, marching powder, where once we're having a talk, we're having a confab, we're getting here in here with a PIP, a performance improvement plan. Okay, what is going on here? Now, he was suspended on September because we had to wait a month in order to undergo drug testing. In October, he tested positive for cocaine. However, the accusations against Stark were not limited to his medical practice. He also has a rap sheet. Well, I mean, why not? According to court documents, Stark has an open criminal case against him after he was charged with laying hands on an ex girlfriend in March 2023. In that criminal complaint, Stark was accused of pushing the woman with both hands, causing her to fall and strike her tailbone, back, and back of her head against the floor. She reported bruising and a chip on a tooth. In addition to that open case, Stark was arrested twice in 2007 and 2017 for driving while intoxicated. According to records obtained by KRIV, a local Fox affiliate, who went into more detail about the Texas Medical Board's accusation against Stark, one of the surgeries in question involved a surgical biopsy on the patient's prostate in August. Stark was reportedly impaired for that procedure. The final straw was apparently a September procedure when Stark was absent for all but the last 3 minutes of surgery, for which he was the attending physician. I'm never going to the hospital again, you guys. Good luck, Godspeed. I don't trust any of these people now. KRIV confirmed with officials at Houston Methodist that Stark was no longer employed at the hospital. His license, however, is another story. Stark may be able to get it back should the Texas Medical Board decide that he cleans his act up. The suspension is temporary. Well, good thing. I mean, thank goodness. Uh, but the board stated that allowing Stark to go behind the knife at the moment was too great a risk to public welfare. Well, thanks for at least giving us that protection. I mean, it's not like he didn't just like walk into a surgery with like a prostate just rolling around and he was like, "Hey, yeah, hey guys, whatever. Hello. I was kind of late, just didn't feel good today." Um, I don't agree with this, but it is your personal choice, Gen Z. I just going to the pool this next year is gonna be weird. Also, Gen Z, We don't give two flying flapjacks what you do with your lower lips. We just find it weird that you're telling everyone about it. Okay? Do whatever you want with your personal grooming downstairs, but why are you telling us about it? Why are you making this a TikTok? Swear to goodness. Gen Z, stop telling us things. We don't care. You wanna have, a Yeti down there? Have a Yeti. You wanna be, hairless as the day you were born? More power to you. God bless, have fun, don't call me. Don't tell me about it. I don't wanna know, but we have to plaster this all over the internet, so I get to tell you. But Gen Z is celebrating, well, the full Yeti look, bikini hair trend. Fuzzy is beautiful. Well, that's what Fozzie the Bear thinks, but I'd never seen him in a bikini. So, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with that. And Fundians, be safe. If it gets too much, you're the personal, um you are the personal captain, you know how to drive in snowy weather, so be safe. Well, the New York Post has a tradition of never ever having a video that even correlates with this. However, I could uniquely correlate this with Shark Week because every woman has one. Yeti or hairless. We all have a Shark Week. Feminist fashionistas are roaring for more untamed manes no matter where they grow. We are gonna see a lot of Chewbaccas, and we won't even know if they're male or female this year. God bless and Godspeed those of you who still attend pools. An online review for a bikini has single-handedly sparked a body hair revolution. Ew. Ew. Social media set ablaze after users caught wind of a new not safe for work review that included a woman with a full, well, undergrowth in a bikini, a phrase that has become a rallying cry for body hair proponents. I got radicalized by that Etsy review for real content creator named Shundina, who said in a viral TikTok clip, like, yeah, that's how it should be. They're just one of the many users who decided that they are going to declare for Bush being best and that Fuzzy is beautiful this year. So there you guys go, the rallying cry of Gen Z. Full Bush in a bikini, boots with fur, angels with Okay, humanity, we had a good run. I hope that the cockroaches and Twinkies can do better with the world, but we tried our best. I I can only imagine why the aliens don't ever show up. It's the most liberating feeling in the world, and it changed my whole life. It's it's body hair. It's not like you invented tab, okay? It's not like you invented cap locks, ma'am. You just let your body hair grow. You're not Harriet Tubman or Rosa Parks of the sisterhood because you decided not to lady bake your lady bits. For the love of all that is holy, stop making everything a civil rights thing. What the hell? Bushes are hot. I don't care, someone else commented. Real men aren't afraid to traverse the jungle. Please, God, let this not be the one time my mom tunes into my show. I'm gonna get a call. Is all you do talk about lady bits and junk? Your entire show today was just about testicles and lady bits. What are you doing? I I can't. Humanity has lost. We are done. I Why is she wearing a skirt with pants? Who knows? That was dumb in the '90s and early aughts. Don't do it again. Look, the jeans with the skirt over top it because you live in freaking, like, Indiana and you can never wear a dress in winter. It wasn't a good look. We were dumb. Don't do it again. Uh, every time a girl loves her bush and keeps it despite societal pressure and Angel gains its wings. Well, that remake of A Wonderful Life is gonna be really weird and hopefully on a hub. Online discourse follows a booming body hair trend that dates back to last year when A-listers such as Julia Fox and Doja Cat promoted, well, Down Under. At 2024 Grammys, the Demons rapper donned a beige mesh gown with, well, short and curlies seen poking through the fabric. Look, I don't care what you do. I just don't think you need to tell nobody. I mean, unless you're wearing a mesh see-through dress, then I'm gonna guess that everyone's gonna know. But Gen Zers, Imma tell you this right now. Do whatever you want. But if you start beating or vajazzling any of this BS, you're you're just sent to Mars. You're sent to Mars. Stop, people. What it Again, I care so little what you do with your man ladyscaping area. Just maybe don't put it on the internets. I don't care. Personal lady bit freedom, but I don't talk about it. I don't get people. But there you go. Do whatever you want. Maybe don't put it on your LinkedIn account if you're going to be, trying out for a job. But there you have it. That is the hard-hitting news of today. Lady bits and, well, spankings that went a little bit too out of whack. What can you do? I would not ask a barber for a current style, portfolio. Listen, whatever you do, don't go to your barber to ask what the latest styling and lady bits are. That's between you and your anesthetist. Well, now that I've made us thoroughly uncomfortable to the point that we would rather do anything else but look each other deeply in the eyes, have a wonderful Friday. And let me see who I can send you to because I am terrible, but we can we can do something today. Let's see who is going on soon. Oh, Baker has mail. Let's see. I need to give him one of those. I need to send him a hork, the shark horse. Although I think he's more of a squirrel tiger, not gonna lie. Maybe a girdle, a turtle giraffe. Have a wonderful day. I will see everyone tomorrow. We will have Legal Shenanigans Theater. We're still on Letitia. I am working on setting up some streams for Sundays, so look for that next week. We are going to be having a full kind of year-long 2-hour, maybe 3-hour, every Sunday. Marissa and I will be, going over the Letitia Stout case because that was a 6-week-long case, and then Shizzy and I are going to try to set up something where we do kind of a week in review, goof off, have fun, but we talk about the big news stories of the week. So we are having things planned. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Be kind to yourself. If you are in an area where snow is coming down and you don't feel comfortable driving in snow, no shame. Stay inside if you can. If you are in California, please listen to whatever the authorities, and it pains me to say, put your trust in the authorities, but keep yourself safe, make good choices. Property can be replaced. You can't. And I know it's easy for me to say, but please keep that in mind. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, you guys. Now I have to go call my mom and apologize for all the dongle and dangly bit talk that I had today. Bye, you guys.